without further delay, we have structured this simply. Each speaker is going to share their opening remarks, and then we are going to have a Q&A. If we have time, I will put some questions to you. The audience can put some questions to the speakers. So I invite Mr. Awasthi to share his opening remarks first.
We are discussing the potential of ecotourism, its side effects in our country. When it comes to ecotourism, I think India has a very, very special place in the world. We are, as you all know, we are a mega diverse country. We have so much of variety of flora and fauna in our country. Besides that, we are also home to some of the iconic species of the world. Like we have 5 big cats out of 7. We have DG Ipka with us. He would support me saying that having 5 big cats in the world itself puts you in a very, very unique position. Besides that, we have rhinos, elephants, and a lot of biodiversity in the field of faunal life. When you have all this, and to top it all, you have a legislative environment or framework which puts you in a very strong position to protect them and have areas dedicated to them. We have more than 5% of our geographical area dedicated to wildlife protection. So there's a lot of space. We are also very unique country because we are progressing in the field of, you can say, forest cover, the population of wildlife, important species, and at the same time, we are also growing in the field of ecotourism. But when it comes to ecotourism, there are a lot of precautions also which you have to exercise, because we always believe that the conservation cannot come at the cost of revenue earning or any such thing which can disturb the wildlife habitats. But we also think that when we promote ecotourism, we are also helping the community which is living over there. We are also generating very, very important revenue which can go for the conservation again. We can also have a most robust measures in place with that kind of money which we generate out of ecotourism or which is happening in our country. So with that point in mind, the government of India has gone ahead with a robust policy framework also, where we will be discussing later. But I can say that ecotourism in our country is taken very, very seriously, and we also see ecotourism having a great potential to support the livelihoods and local communities.
Thank you. Hello, can you hear me? Yeah, thank you, Awasthi ji. It's going to be an interesting session where people from the government, from two persons from the government, and also somebody who's an expert in wildlife are here to tell us more about what the future of India is in terms of ecotourism. So without delay, I would request Dr. S.P. Yadav. He has the experience of being in the field and also on boardrooms of the government. So several insights he will have. Dr. Saab.
Thank you, Malvika ji. Good morning to you all, and good morning to my fellow panelists. The topic is very, very relevant. In fact, the wildlife tourism or ecotourism is one of the fastest growing sector in the tourism sector, and it is estimated to be 180 billion globally in 2022. And as Mr. Awasthi rightly pointed out, I feel that India is blessed with the bounties of nature. See the example. On the northern side, we have snow-capped Himalayas, long range of Himalayas. Southern side, we have long coastal line. In the western part of the country, we have the hot desert, Sahara in western. In Himalayas, Leh and Ladakh, we have cold deserts. We have the driest area of the world in western part of our country where rainfall doesn't take place for many years. But in the eastern part of the country, we have the wettest area of the world, which is Cherrapunji, records highest rainfall in the world. We have all type of forest In the hills, we have temperate coniferous forest, we have tropical forest, we have subtropical forest, we have grasslands, we have rainforest on Western Ghats, we have one of the largest mangrove habitat in Sundarbans, which is the only habitat of tigers. So all this has contributed in a huge biodiversity, and that offers, and there is no wonder India is the largest tiger range country in the world. More than 70% tigers we have in our country. We are the only home to Asiatic lions, that is in Gir, Gujarat, and the population is doing very well. We are the largest Asiatic elephant range country in the world. We are the largest single-horn rhinoceros country in the world. So many unique things which is India is blessed with. And this offers huge opportunity in ecotourism or wildlife tourism. In fact, if you see the countries like Kenya, Tanzania, Rwanda, Costa Rica, they are doing much better. They are earning a lot of money out of wildlife tourism. And if you compare with that, India has tremendous, huge potential to attract the foreign tourist. If you search Google, that what objects the foreign tourists look for more or search more. A couple of years back, it was first was Taj Mahal, and for natural things, it was tiger. So the tiger attracts a lot of tourism in India. So because of this positioning, unique positioning, there is huge potential, and that can be tapped. And ecotourism is not only from the point of earning revenue, it supports and helps the communities, the local communities and tribals. The benefit goes to them. In fact, if you see that all our national parks, tiger reserves, they're located in such areas, there are hardly any employment opportunities. The poor people, they live in and around protected areas, and they get a lot of livelihood opportunities out of this wildlife tourism and ecotourism. So with this opening remarks, I will stop here.
Thank you, Mr. Ravi Singh. You will have a different perspective, I'm sure. So I request you to share your thoughts.
Thank you. At the outset, thank you for inviting me. This is a great honor to be here. A topic which is relevant and current for our country. I'd start by saying that we have the best canvas for visitors, both domestic and international. Nowhere in the world, and nowhere in any continent where you can experience the natural landscapes together with issues of cultural and historical heritage. In any part of India, if you were to go to, let's say, the smallest place which you can think of in the country, within 50 kilometers of that would be a heritage site which is unbelievably different and unique. I'll give you two examples. Velavadar, 30 odd square kilometers of grassland in Gujarat. Keladev, 36 square kilometers of grassland and wetland in. Within 50 kilometers of that, you would come across places of uniqueness, of heritage going back, anything between 2,000, 5,000 years back. If you expand that radius to 100, you will of course bump into the Taj Mahal, Fatehpur Sikri, Lothal, and a whole lot of other areas. This doesn't occur anywhere, and I think we have still to find it. Secondly, the carrying capacity of our reserves is small, so we have to manage it on the basis of science and management principles, which frameworks have been set by our government, and those have to be respected. Thirdly, the tenets of ecotourism should be respected, which is that the benefit should go to the communities, and there should be stakeholders as well in this entire scenario. And lastly, I would say that amongst this best part of the world, and as far as I'm concerned, of course, I'm biased being an Indian, but at the same time, this is meeting the rising prosperity and the middle class of India and the young people who want to go out and see this. Now, this, in a way, it's a soft clash at this point of time, but the footprint of it can exceed our carrying capacities. This is what this fora is responsibly discussing and possibly coming up with solutions. Thank you.
Thank you. I think there are many thoughts you have shared, and the audience will also think about it. Let me come to Mr. Avasthi and ask what kind of a policy framework is essential when you want to balance tourism growth with ecological limits, and what is the government doing about it?
Yeah. Actually, this is very important. Like you said in the beginning that we are going on a northward trajectory as far as the influx of tourists is concerned. The 15% is the growth which we registered year on year. And if I really speak on a lighter side, we have the tiger reserves like Corbett Tiger Reserve, Ranthambore, Kaziranga, Kanha, many others. They are not able to handle the pressure of tourists as of now. A lot of recommendations would come to you that get me a safari. So, and I don't know if 10 recommendations come to you every day, then what is happening in the park, how many people are even going back without getting a chance to do a safari, in these parks at least. So this growth cannot be allowed to grow like this only, because ecotourism has its own limits. Ecotourism has its own, you can say, a protocol which has to be followed in that spirit only. So the government of India has gone ahead and given a uniform policy to the country, which is called ecotourism policy. And as I said in the beginning, that the conservation remains the baseline. We remain conservation oriented because we have 5-6 pillars of that policy, which I'll try to give you in a short time. The number one, we go by the carrying capacity. We do a lot of surveys and we find out that what kind of tourist number this park can handle, what kind of number of gypsies this park can handle, or this part of park can handle. Or at the same time, you also have to give a zonation concept. You cannot allow the tourists to go all over the park and disturb the entire habitat. There has to be a dedicated tourism zone in which the tourists would be allowed. There would be a core zone where nobody would go except the managers. And there would also be a buffer area which would be protected very sacrosanctly so that no undue disturbance happens. We also have sustainable tourism guidelines which ensure that you have eco-friendly infrastructure, you have very strict waste management norms. We also ban plastics at times, and when you have, said in the beginning, that when you have a million tourists visiting a park, then it becomes really a challenge that how actually you ensure all this. There are parks who have gone ahead and made good case studies and good you can say narrations that how actually they have controlled the plastic pollution, and they have been very successful in this. Then there is an underlying principle that the community, which is living there, when we come to wildlife, protection of wildlife or conservation of wildlife, we never forget the role of community in that. So we always put community ahead of it, and we try that whatever benefits are going to accrue in terms of revenue from that park, the majority of should go to the community, and they should also get their livelihood. So with these basic principles, we have evolved our ecotourism policy, which we keep revising maybe after 5 years, 10 years, whenever the new issues come. So this is the basic pillars of our, you can say, legislative framework or the guidelines which the government of India has made.
Thank you, thank you. I think the government has taken several steps for nature, positive development, and our Prime Minister's commitment to conservation is demonstrated regularly. I would come to you, Dr. Yadav. You've worked with communities in these protected areas. So how do you think ecotourism can be connected to the welfare benefit of these communities? As you yourself said, that it's a challenge, how to look after them in these areas.
In fact, community support for wildlife conservation is one of the most important aspect of wildlife management, because these people, they sacrifice most for the fodder, the fuel wood and all. So they are the deprived community, and in these remote areas, there are hardly any employment opportunities, industries and all, because the law doesn't allow. So taking support of community, making them stewards by providing the benefits of this ecotourism or wildlife tourism to them, that becomes very, very important, as Ravi Singh Saab was also pointed out, as Awasthi ji also said that it's a part of policy. The benefit must go directly and substantial to these communities. There are various ways to involve them, like many tiger reserves like Kana, Tadoba, they organize this capacity building programs for the communities, for homestays. They pick up the young youths, the students from these communities, take them to the hospitality management courses. There are eco-development committees in these communities. Various livelihood options are provided to them. And this goes on. Like women's self-help group, they manage some kind of providing some food material, some artifacts, but the important point is, because these communities, they depend on the natural resources of the national parks or protected areas, and so therefore, once you deprive them of their natural resources, which they require for their day-to-day life, we must compensate them. And the wildlife tourism or ecotourism becomes a good means to compensate them. But important thing is that benefit must be direct and substantial. They get a lot of employment opportunities in wildlife tourism, like if you see a lot of resorts and hotels, they come up around national parks and they get employment there. The safaris, the guides, the nature guides or trackers, they get employment there. In protected area management itself, 45 lakh mandates are generated, mandates of employment are generated in our 58 tiger reserves in the country. So connecting community with wildlife conservation by giving them benefit, that is one of the most important aspects of our ecotourism or wildlife tourism management in the country.
Okay, thank you. SP sir, we would like to also request if you could share something regarding this book, Tigers and Tribes, A Silent Conversation. This was an idea which IPCA suggested along with NTCA after 50 years of the Tiger Project. And Sankala Foundation was very happy to be a partner.
Yeah, right.
So tiger reserves, in tiger reserves, there are lots of tribal communities, and they create wonderful art, which represents their love for nature, their conservation ethos. So would you like to share a little bit about this idea?
Yes, as I said, a lot of tribal people, the communities, they are living in and around our tiger reserves. And they are natural, there are some people, they have skill, natural skill. They have not got any training from any school or something, but by their intuition, by their interest, what they look in the field, in the jungles, they depict in the form of paintings. So there is no market, hardly any market, and even if the market exists at local level, they hardly get any substantial value for their effort. So we thought that why not bring all these tribal painters to the national level and organize a kind of painting exhibition for them. So we started doing it annually, where tribal painters, local communities who are in painting, we invite them to Delhi after a selection process, and the exhibition at national level is organized. It has been organizing in India Habitat Center. And then these paintings are open for sale. And the purchasers, they directly transfer the amount to their account. So direct benefit transfer is there. And this has, we have seen that very encouraging response. And the over last 3 or 4 years, 4 years, the quality of painting has also gone up. So out of the first exhibition, we converted that exhibition into book form, Tigers and Tribes. And we call it silent conversation, because these tribals, their lifestyle, how they see, how they perceive the wild animals and the relationship between ecosystem and them, they depict in the form of paintings without any formal training. So they're means outstanding. There are certain tribals, they're outstanding in these kind of paintings. And we intend to organize and encourage these local communities and tribals in a big way. And right now we are organizing this kind of exhibition every year at New Delhi.
Yes, thank you. It's a wonderful idea to support the communities which are in these, living in these areas. So a thinking question to all three of you. We've talked about ecotourism. What is your best example of ecotourism, global or India? All three of you.
Uh, to me, the Periyar Tiger Reserve has evolved as a best example of ecotourism, which is supported by the local communities. That has gone far ahead, not from today, at least 15 years from today.
In fact, I would support that. In Periyar Tigers, there were hunting communities called Mongia. And they were converted, they were brought back or mainstreamed into male life, and they were trained, their capacity built, and they were converted into trekkers. They become guides, and they started supporting the tourism. And Periyar, means when the people, the visitors, the tourists move, it's mostly on boats. So they leave hardly any carbon footprint there. So it's a carbon neutral kind of tourism. And you're right, Vastiji, Periyar is one of the best examples in India for ecotourism. And there are many such examples now. Like most our national parks and tiger reserves, they are now plastic free as per the policy of the ministry. They are almost all are solar powered now. The patrolling chowkis, the hutments or the buildings which are constructed in tiger reserves, they are solar powered. Even the water holes, they are recharged with solar power pumps. The water lifting is through solar power pumps. And another good example is Kanha Tiger Reserve, where all patrolling camps, they have been solar powered. There is no plastic, and all eco-friendly material, they are used by the tourism industry. So the Kanha Tiger Reserve is another example of good example of ecotourism.
Ravi Singh ji.
So taking a different tack, I think I could bring up the examples of homestays in Arunachal Pradesh, which are absolutely amazing for bird watchers and people who are interested in plants and in the origin of how these plants spread from, where all they went, and how this whole thing popularized itself. The homestays in Meghalaya, the Karbi Anglong, in the Karbi tribe, on the outskirts of Kaziranga. I would even talk about marine tourism in the western part of our country, Goa included, which is a very densely packed place as far as tourism is concerned. But there are examples out there which are very different. Looking for whales, which are not there on the coast, but there's always this adventure of looking for new things. The dolphins, the Pacific dolphin, fishermen converted to that kind of tourism and how they manage that. These are scattered all across the country. You can take 100 of these examples without even touching a tiger reserve in India, on the different parts of this. And then we have tiger reserves on top of that. So it's a tremendous opportunity, and we need to get it right, and we must continue to do it right. Thank you.
Yeah, I hope we can harness this soon. The strengths, several strengths you have mentioned. How can, this question is for you, Avasthiji, how can technology enhance sustainable tourism?
Yes, technology is one big factor which has been adopted quite liberally in all these parameters of management because they become easy. First of all, as I said, that when tourism is allowed in any national park or any protected area, we have to assess that what is the carrying capacity of that area, how many tourists can go without disturbing the habitat. And for that, you have to assess the entire habitat. And for that assessment, the technology is one big factor which is used because we have quite advanced survey techniques available to us. Secondly, I would say that it's not that technology we are thinking only from today. We have been thinking about technology from a long time. In Corbett National Park, not less than 15 to 20 years back, we installed, I think that at that time there was a huge cost which came, and some smart cameras were put, AI e-surveillance was kept. So this e-surveillance was also keeping an eye on the poachers, on the people who are infiltrating into the park, but also keeping an eye on the tourists if they are violating any of the norms, violating any of the paths which have been given to them. So that was also being done. Thirdly, it is also empowering the community, because how do you connect the local people if they have something to a tourist which is coming from far off place? So this technology is also now being used in that manner. So this is also one area where we are using technology in a big manner. And then also we also need to have infrastructure in all these PAs which is environment friendly, which is nature friendly. So in this also, like solar powered gadgets, infrastructure is also being thought of, so that they have the minimum disturbance or minimum signature on the nature which is over there. So technology in a way is helping us a lot in managing all these parks and the tourism which is happening there.
Thank you. I guess we can envision more balance in ecotourism through technology. Last two questions, one to SP sir. How do you envision Viksit Bharat and ecotourism 2047?
Viksit Bharat by 2047. I wish that you must be aware that now the tiger numbers, we are the largest tiger-rich country, tiger numbers are increasing by 6% annually. We are the largest Asiatic lion country and the only country which we have lion and lion population. We are doing very well, showing a healthy increase in population. If we compare with the African lions, they are rapidly declining. Cheetah, we lost in 1952. After 70 years, we successfully introduced. Now we brought from Namibia and South Africa 20 cheetahs. 8 died, 12 are still surviving. But there are more birds now in India. Now the cheetah population in India is 38 today. And again, we are bringing 8 cheetahs from Botswana on 28th of this month. Leopard population, if you see, we are one of the largest country in the world, having 14, 15,000 leopards in the country. If you see snow leopard population, we are the third largest snow leopard range country in the world after China and Mongolia. So by 2047, we cannot go on increasing the numbers because we have 1.4 billion population as well. Human-wildlife conflict will be ultimately affecting adversely all this. So what I wish that by 2047, we must have a viable, sustainable population of all big cats and other wildlife in the country. We must integrate our wildlife conservation into sectoral plans of development. We are a developing country. We need employment. We need economic growth. We need roads, rails, all these things. But they should be constructed with scientifically designed mitigation measures so they do not adversely impact the conservation of wildlife in a country. I have just jotted down certain points, like we need to restore the degraded habitats of the wildlife. We need to ensure the corridor connectivity because all this wildlife, they cannot survive in islands or protected area. They need connectivity. So we must ensure that corridor connectivity is there. DG Saab has talked about the technology, so we must leverage the technology for conservation of wildlife, artificial intelligence, there in survey and monitoring, and then promotion of community-led sustainable livelihoods. We cannot ignore the local community. They are the important pillars of wildlife conservation. So they must be part of the decision making. They must be part of execution. Involving youth. Now the youth is one of the biggest power in the country. They must be involved. They must be educated on the sustainable wildlife management and conservation. Enhancing cross-sectoral collaboration, that is again very, very important. And success stories like Project Tiger, we must replicate with other animals as well. So I wish that by 2047 in Viksit Bharat, the wildlife is seen as foundation of growth, not as a liability. Our national parks and tiger reserves, they become engine of economic growth in rural and backward areas where there are no employment or very few employment opportunities available. For this, as DG Saab was saying, we need proper supporting infrastructure, good accessibility, good connectivity, good roads, and logistics support for this tourism. Thank you.
Thank you, thank you. I think the minister in the morning mentioned that how tourism can be the bridge to civilization, and that's what I think you have also predicted for Viksit Bharat 2047. Last question, Mr. Ravi Singh, most probably important question. Where is the investment? Where is the money for ecotourism? And what about the private sector's involvement? What kind of campaigns would help?
I think ecotourism investment in actually the pure form of ecotourism, which is where the tenets of ecotourism is that it should be soft on the environment, it should give benefits back to the community, and it should respect local culture. Some of these areas are underinvested today. Most people don't even know about the cultural diversity and the depth of all this, what we are discussing here across our metros, other places. So I think the investment comes in investing first in ourselves. Because when we get there, we'll find that area which we want to go and see does not require very much investment in the actual, in the normative sense. So what I mean in this is that we should invest in our own knowledge to understand our country, to go out actually and experience it for yourself, get your shoes muddy, yeah, and take your notes, take your pictures, take your photographs, meet people locally, and not necessarily always from a safari jeep. This is the difference. Will there be more investment in this? Yes, locally there would be. It may not require huge amounts of dollars, will require us to actually appreciate what those people are doing, number one. Number two, you're talking about where ultimately this looks like, which way it will head. I think we are, there are two parts to it. I think India is very clear that we don't want to see our heritage deteriorate. There will be issues and problems, but on a larger scale, I don't see this happening. So Viksit Bharat, as you mentioned, it's part of development, and we will still have wildlife 50 years from now. We would still have wild raging tigers 100 years from now, because what you are doing at this point of time. This is my belief. The second part is I'd request very much that we should also change ourselves, our habits, our characteristic, our mannerisms. Because government has a framework, it is doing what it does. It is providing a format which is perhaps amongst the leading examples across the world. And I know this because we interact at international levels, what's happening in different continents and how this is going on. All our departmental instructions are SOPs, etc. They are world class. What we need to be is like a Japanese in an Olympic stadium. When you go and see this example, people sit according to their national groups. So the Japanese are sitting in one area, and when they come out after the event is over, the section that they are staying in is actually better than what they came and sat in. Means it's clean, it's cleaned more than what it was earlier. And it's a place where people look around and see, they know that the Japanese were sitting there. This example we need to set for ourselves, that when we go to a tiger reserve, go for a trek, go for a hike, go fishing, go whatever is allowed in our country, that when we make sure that we come back and set examples for the others, that we do not add to the footprint that we are, providing. This is what I wanted to say.
Thank you so much for such wonderful words, and I think all this deserves an applause from the audience. Any question from the audience? Maybe we'll be able to take one. Yes, please. Please introduce yourself.
It was really excellent present in this panel discussion. I am J.K. Bhatti, earlier was with the RITES, that is a public sector under Ministry of Railways. The question what I am asking, most of the replies they have already been given by Mr. Awasthi and Ravi ji. My question is to Shri S.P. Yadav. How can wildlife tourism contribute to India's vision of becoming a developed country by 2047 without compromising ecological sustainability? Thank you.
As I said, that we are a developing country and we need employment, we need growth, we need roads, we need transmission lines, we need railway lines. But all these things should be properly integrated into a planning process. We must look and see that they do not have much adverse impacts on the ecosystem or ecological balance. And for that, the policy decision is already taken by the Government of India, and with the help of Wildlife Institute of India, some mitigation measures have already, the guidelines on mitigation measures. Now, in India, we have the largest underpass of the Asia. Between Pench Tiger Reserves and Kanha Tiger Reserves, there is a beautiful and overpass where the vehicles are passing, and down below, all animals, including tigers, they pass. We need such more examples. Near Dehradun, the NHAI has made overpass where elephants can successfully cross or in these areas. So for Viksit Bharat, my quote, what I have written is, wildlife conservation in developed India must be about creating a future where prosperity does not come at the cost of nature, but where nature itself becomes foundation of lasting prosperity. So that should be our principle on which we should work. We need development, we need employment, there's no doubt in that. But with proper planning, with proper mitigation measures, we can overcome the adverse impacts of these construction or development. So there has to be a delicate balance between development and conservation, and we must ensure that. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Dr. Yadav, Mr. Avasthi, Mr. Ravi Singh. It was indeed a session full of insights, and I'm very tempted to do my bookings for the next ecotourism spot. Thank you so much for this wonderful session, and we end here. Thank you.